And it is the middle of the year, which means it's time for the mid-year book freakout tag. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizard of the Reads, and as always, I am Andrew. And today, guys, I have got the mid-year book freakout tag. It's been a while since we did a tag here on the channel, but I've done this tag every year that I've had the channel, so might as well continue the tradition. Before we get into this, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, as it does help the channel grow, and hit that notification bell so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. And if you're doing all of that, you might as well check the description box down below for links to my social media, information about my Patreon, the link to my Pango books, if you wanted to check out the books that I have removed from my collection, and they're up for grabs right there. But guys, yeah, this is a 13 prompt tag. It's the same prompts from last year. I've just changed 2022 to 2023. So let's jump right on into this. Now, we have got prompt number 1. What is the best book I have read of 2023? And this could literally fit any of these prompts. A lot of them are interchangeable. But I'm going to go with Robert McCammon's Boy's Life. And like so many books could fit this prompt, but I'm choosing this one just because I love Corey Mackinson. I love the way that Zephyr, Alabama comes alive. I love that coming of age feeling, and I love the relationships that are just in this book. It is so incredibly magical. I actually recommended this book as a Father's Day book recommendation just because I love the relationship that Corey has with his dad. This book was awesome. So that's prompt number 1. Prompt number 2 is the best sequel that I've read this year. And this could go to a couple. And so I chose a couple because I refused to be restricted by the prompts, even though I probably should be. That's kind of like the whole point. Anyway, I did first No Port in a Storm by Cal Black. This is Legends and Legacies Number Dos. And this is fantastic. Mildred Berry, the Bayou Butcher, comes back and just claws her back and pulls her back into her past. I love this book. I love the kind of Louisiana bayou setting and the voodoo and just everything associated with this book. But I also am going to give you Christopher G. Brenning's Wrathbringer, which is Hellborn King, book number 2. And I just love the progression and the character growth and the way that story presents itself. I mean, so incredibly good the way that these arcs are progressing, and I cannot wait for more from Christopher G. Brenning. Number 3, a new release that I haven't read yet. And for me, it's not exactly new, but it's been released within the last couple years. And this was recommended to me by my buddy Jord from Middle of Nowhere. We have got Wolf Eater by Anthony Mitchell. This just not only does the cover look good, he reached out to me. He's like, hey, I know your taste. You're going to love this book. So I bought the physical copy. I just haven't been able to get it in yet, but I mean, All Things Die Eventually is like right up there in bold on the back of the book. Ravaged by a bloody disease, the legendary wolf eater finds himself asking one question: why? His blind 8-year-old ward Naya has a question of her own: what next? I mean, I just love the what. I mean, it just sounds intense. It sounds good, and I am here for it. All right, next up is the newest release the most anticipated release in the second half of the year. And for me, this has to be R.J. Barker's The Gods of Wormwood, I believe, or of the Wormwood. This is R.J. Barker's new series. I love Tide Child, and hopefully this year I can start the Assassin trilogy. If not, it'll be early next year, but so far I've been very impressed with R.J. Barker, so that is going to be my answer there. Now, my biggest disappointment, I believe, is up next, and for me, that could be one of 2 books. We could say Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I was expecting something very different than what I got. I thought it felt overlong. Now, these are just my opinions. If you liked Tress, I'm very happy for you. I am glad that you enjoyed that book. Just for me personally, it did not work. But also Lords of the Bow by Con Iggulden can also fit this answer. I really enjoyed Temujin's story in Wolves of the Plain. And it had a couple inconsistencies, but once we get that evolution and we're just following his journey into becoming Genghis Khan, and then I just felt that falls flat right here in Lords of the Bow. I didn't like really any of the POVs. I felt like Temujin slash Genghis Khan takes a back seat in his own story, and overall just didn't work for me. I do plan to continue the series and at least read the third book, but if I don't like these, then at least I still have the Caesar books to look forward to. Now, my biggest surprise would have to be The Trials of Ashmount by John Palladino. And I say biggest surprises because I DNF'd this book last year. And then I felt like I had a knee-jerk reaction to where I discontinued the book. And I wanted to come back and give it at least one more try. And I'm so happy I did, because even though I DNF'd it then, it got 4.5 stars this time. Very good. I need to read Buzzard's Bowl, but everybody writes too darn fast, and I can't read it in a reasonable amount of time. I'm following too many self-pub authors, and y'all write so fast. My favorite new author, debut or new to me, and I'm going to go with the new to me side of this. It's going to be Dumagoy Kermayage, Nobody 103, and that's Mother of Learning. And I've read arcs 1, 2, and 3 this year. I love these stories. I love Zorian Kaczynski and just everything that is going on. I love his interactions. I love his progression. I love his characterization. I pretty much love everything about these stories. They are so incredibly good. If you haven't checked out Mother of Learning, I recommend either the physical read, well, I guess the ebook. Physicals, you would have to have back the Kickstarter, but the audiobooks are also incredibly, incredibly good. So, yeah, that's my answer for those. And then I guess it's time for the Fictional Crush, which I always struggle with this, so I copped out and went a fictional take on a real person, and that's going to be Anna Catherine Green by Patricia Meredith. And yeah, this is a Deed of Dreadful Note. These are the Anna Catherine Green mysteries, and essentially Anna Catherine Green was a real writer who predates Sherlock and Agatha Christie and all those. And yeah, so she's the mother of the detective fantasy, and we're just gonna go with that one since there is a mystery with her as the main character. Boom, easy work. My newest favorite character. We're gonna go with the Wizard from Conspiracy by A.C. Cobble, and this is Warhype Book 1. I just love the wizard in this story because, like, everyone's like, oh, can you prove you're a wizard? And he's like, I don't have to prove that I'm a wizard. Well, do some magic. He's like, no. But he's still very, like, I don't know, mysterious. I just love the wizard in these stories. So that's my answer here, and I'm sticking to it. All right, a book that made me cry. We're going to go with The Green Mile by Stephen King. Fantastic story, but it is incredibly emotional, incredibly sad. John Coffey is an amazing character, and I did cry a little bit at this one, but it was well worth the read. It's my new favorite Stephen King book. Now, a book that made me happy. This one made me happy cry, so it could have fit either prompt, but this is going to be Cradle Waybound by Will White. The final conclusion to the Cradle series. I was happy crying at this. It was everything I wanted. It was the conclusion to the series that I wanted. It was so incredibly good. It was everything I wanted. It was everything I needed. And I'm kind of sad that Cradle is over now. But, I mean, it is what it is. Now, number 12. What is the most beautiful book that I have bought or received this year? Well, I just got back from Florida from visiting my grandfather, and he had this on his shelf. He is 90, and he has been downsizing everything, and that includes books. So he just sent me home with an Easton Press leather-bound edition of Moby Dick by Herman Melville. So this is one of the most beautiful books I have received this year, easily. Now, what books do I need to read by the end of the year? Well, the easy answer is my SPFBO allocation. But, I mean, there's the Empire trilogy by Janie Werton and Raymond E. Feist. We've got that right here. I want to read The Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill. I mentioned R.J. Barker's The Assassin series. I want to read more Berserk. I've got these leatherbounds. I've read the first collection. I just didn't tell y'all much about it. But I've read these, so I need to read that one. There's a lot that I need to read by the end of the year. I hope to read probably another 40 or 50 books this year. So, that is the easy answer. And, of course, all my review copies that I have, all 30 plus of them. But yeah, that is the mid-year book freakout tag for 2023. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of some of my answers. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or just give me some of your answers. That's all I've really got for you today. So till next time, peace out. Stay magical. Bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.